let's just sit out here and talk this evening.
Oh, God. This stuff always leaks.
Always. Thanks for coming.
Oh, no problem. Oh, God, this stuff is awful.
Isn't it?
Ugh.
I practically live on it, though. I get this constant ringing in my head at the end of the day when I work on it. Gives me something to do.
So is it definite?
What?
The diagnosis?
Today, it's definite. Tomorrow, they'll think of something else. The problem with this one, he's supposed to be getting better, and he's not.
What is it called?
Pancreatitis, I think. Inflammation of the pancreas. The way they explained it to me this morning, it sounds like what's happening is that his pancreas is actually digesting itself.
Oh, Jesus.
I know, it sounds pretty gothic.
Ugh.
Or he's supposed to be happy that it's non-surgical, whereas it's something else. They couldn't even dope him up at all. He's still in an awful lot of pain, if you ask me. I don't know what to do.
I think you're doing it.
Rearranging flowers, plumping pillows.
Well?
I imagine. I have this image in my head of doing something worthwhile, something heroic, something with a knife in my teeth.
Swinging on rope.
That sort of thing.
I like it. I can see you chasing the nurses down the corridor with a saber.
It would be fun.
So what do you think of this new guy?
I don't know, Megan. It's like talking to a used car salesman. You stop listening to the words after all and just relying on instinct. You know, not the words, but the inflection, the tone, trying to read him.
Do you trust him?
So far. He has a scar on his cheek, sort of an attractive scar, actually. Right under his eye. Apparently his big sister pushed him out of a treehouse when they were young. He says she didn't mean to. This is what I'm going on, you understand?
Sounds okay to me.
You think so?
Sure.
I want to trust this guy, Megan, I really do. But I can't help feeling something is really wrong. You see, I'm much more worried than they lead me to believe I should be. He's supposed to be getting better, and he's not. That's all I know. And the whole message is, you know, getting bed rest and getting off the alcohol and so forth. But I feel like he's dying. And they say, oh, withdrawal, right? But I can't help feeling something's really wrong.
Do you want to move him to Albany?
The guy said give him 5 days. I'm giving him 5 days. He is so sure of himself, this guy. Maybe I'm just totally flipped out and paranoid, but I sit here all day and go quietly nuts. So I sit here and convince myself that they don't know what they're doing and the diagnosis is wrong, but what do I know? It's only been being ridiculous. It's only been a few days. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
And what about you?
What about me?
How are you doing?
You know, I just aim for stupidity, trying not to think too much. You know, cigarettes, coffee,
Hot baths.
to a certain extent. They do tend to promote that, though. You know, you sit there in the water, the steam rises, and suddenly you find yourself thinking they can be dangerous.
Well, everyone loves Willie at the ward. Every time I go to see him, they just get so excited.
Everyone loves him. Everyone's always loved him. And that's just the way he likes it.
Well, he is a wonderful man.
And no dummy either. You know, I was actually surprised when they told me the diagnosis this morning, that he's ruined his pancreas by drinking. That's how good he is. And you know, when I look back on it, he wasn't always everyone's darling. That's something he had to cope for the past 10 years because he's needed that many accomplices. And now, he's practically managed to kill himself with a little bit of help from his friends who all looked the other way and just let him go on being drunk. Because after all, he's such a charming drunk. Megan, I am so angry. The gallons of liquor I've watched him tip back while I just sat there and watched because he was charming, because I thought loving him meant not interfering. And now I have to sit here all day and see what that kind of love has allowed him to do. I don't know, it seems like such a stupid thing to do to yourself.
It's not that black and
I know, Megan, I know. I've read all the brochures from A-Buddy. I know it's a disease. But what drives me crazy is that it's me holding on to him, keeping him alive. I think he's letting go, wanting death. It's me sitting here holding on to him, talking in my head to his body, because it's his body, this animal, all nerves and veins and arteries that he's become all of a sudden. This is what I'm dealing with now. His mind is drifting so much of the time. I sit there and I guess what I do is I pray. I look down at his arm. I make deals with his arms. I say, please keep going for me. Megan, I'm so exhausted. And it's only been 4 days. How could you have done this for 15 years?
Well, I'm not doing this, what you're doing here.
You haven't given up.
How could I? What choice do I have? Nobody can tell me if he's alive, and nobody can tell me that he's dead. How could I give up?
Easy. Another person would.
You'd be surprised. It's just different for me. I'm in love with a 20-year-old man. Even if John's alive, the man that I'm in love with no longer exists. I'm in love with a ghost. But you have someone that you can see, that you can hear, that you can feel. You don't have to rely on anyone else for information. You could just go in there and fucking touch him if you want to. You can tell him that you love him. You don't have to listen to anyone else. You could just do it all yourself. If I could just go there, I mean, I know I can't go there, but if I could just touch him, if I could just touch something, I just think that I didn't mean that what you're going through is way worse.
I know, Megan. We're not doing comparative suffering
for
here.
God's sake, you've had to deal with the day-to-day of marriage and
you haven't slept with anyone for 15 years.
You don't know that. What? You don't know that.
Yeah, I do, don't I?
I did.
Who? Of course, you don't have to tell me. Except you do have to tell me.
Okay. Oh my God, so I was walking out of the grocery store and there was this guy across the street at the bus stop. I know, and he looked so much like John, and I just stood there staring with my bag of groceries like a freaking weirdo. And I know he didn't see me because he was doing this like John-like thing. He was reading the back of his ticket. You know, John used to read the back of candy bar wrappers and everything, so he's sitting there reading it, and I'm staring at him. And then I knew it wasn't John. I mean, obviously, but for some reason, a little girl inside me was saying, it's him, he's alive. So I walked across the street, and I walked up to him, and I said, I'll pay for your ticket if you come and talk to me for a couple minutes. I know. And he said, you'll pay for my ticket to Chicago if I talk to you. And I said, you're right. You're going to have to kiss me too. And he said, what is this? I know. So I told him my story and I showed him a picture of John. He saw the likeness, so we traded in his ticket and I asked him to go someplace with me. It was so weird.
I bet.
And I didn't really want to talk because I didn't want to ruin the illusion. But the illusion wasn't that great anyway.
You made love.
Oh my God, yes, and I got my diaphragm out of the crypt and everything, which meant that he had to come with me to sneak into my house while he waited in the car. Thank God the entire family was on like their Saturday acid trip because I don't think anyone would. Whispering Hills for an hour and a half. I know, oh my God, it was like so beyond seedy. You have no idea. I mean, like the mattress was like bowed with like the screws that like popped through, and the entire place smelled like the inside of an air freshener. Oh my God! And this poor guy, I have no idea why he agreed to do it, but I know he regretted it as soon as I did. And he like definitely thought he was the stud, like a bad stud at that. And he tried to deal with me, and I cried through the entire thing. Oh my God, it was horrible.
That sounds awful.
It was.
Was that the only time?
Well, I kissed Woody a couple times.
Oh yeah, Woody. Like who didn't?
Jesus,
Megan.
I know.
Do you masturbate a lot?
Oh my God, you're nosy son of a bitch.
I don't know how you do it.
Oh my God. Well, I guess so. I used to. I mean, you know, it's weird. I think John's getting excited. It's been so long. It's like, I don't know. It's just been a really long time.
You can remember.
Oh no, I remember. It's just, I feel like you know, like a necrophilia.
Oh,
I know. It's like it makes me crazy. It makes me feel sad. I don't know. It's weird.
So you still think he's alive?
I don't want to talk about this.
All right.
I don't really think anything. It's more like a feeling. I don't know. I mean, legally he's dead, and he hasn't showed up on any of the lists. And I know it's gonna sound crazy, but I have this, John used to do this gesture it was like a habitual gesture. He used to like scratch his nose and tug on it at the same time. Like when he was nervous or forgot something to say. And I was doing the dishes last week, and for some reason I had this memory, like a feeling. I just knew that at that moment he was doing that gesture, that he must be alive. And I know it sounds completely...
No, it doesn't.
You don't think
That
that
I
I'm...
believe you.
Well, that's how I do it.
Do what?
You asked me how I go on living.